Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and pleased to be joined by he is now a USF 2000 winner, Simon Sikes. Of course, who won race 2 at Sebring and came pretty close to winning race 1 as well. But overall, uh, first off, how are you? And just to finally get that win, something you've been trying to chase for basically your entire career, to get that win, what does it mean?
It took a while. It was huge to finally put it together. It's my fourth season, I guess. I mean, I've been doing partial seasons since 2020, so to finally put that win in the books is huge. And I've had a few opportunities in the past, few opportunities this year, coming up just short with that second place finish, but to finally close it out, it's a different story. And the way we were able to do it, where it was the last race of the weekend, we were able to take over the points lead before a break, before Indy. It feels awesome because you get to ride that win and that points lead all the way into the next event.
Yeah. So I know you've been kind of chasing after, I know we kind of recapped your racing life in the last time you were on here, but just overall to get the win at Sebring. And when did you know that you were at, because it was a while before, and wasn't that long until you found out that you were actually gonna run Sebring.
Yeah, I mean it was tough, especially after St. Pete, where we had that incident in quali. That was a pretty massive shunt in terms of the damage we did to the car. So it was tight on money to see if we could even get out of St. Pete, much less get to Sebring. And it took huge effort and a lot of help to put it together. Not that long before Sebring came up this past weekend.
Yeah. So let's kind of talk about just what was it just like going around that track? Because that was the full course.
It was full course for the first time, I think, for USF Pro Championships since 2013. I think that was the last time they were in Sebring. Awesome track. It was spring training. We did full course as well. Our preseason testing to kind of get into the season, and that was my first time actually driving on full course, as a combined layout, and it was awesome. It was crazy. It was bumpy. Everything that you could expect from Sebring, it was that. And turn 1 and 17, running through those at speed for the first time. And not even for the first time, all the way through the race weekend. Every time I went through those corners, it was just so intense. It's super bumpy. You're carrying a lot of minimum speed through those corners. And it's just a time to try and make a lap around that place.
Yeah. Here's the other thing though. I know that, you're still trying to put some stuff together for Indy. Where are we at in that process? And I know there's a pretty big amount of time between now and the races on the Indy road course.
Yeah, so trying to put it together. Don't have anything yet. I'm working on it. Got a little bit of time, like you mentioned, that definitely helps, but just it's going to be a lot of hard work these next coming weeks to try and get things nailed down to get to the next round. Can't quit now. We're leading the championship, so it's do anything and everything to get to the next race.
And of course, getting a win, obviously, and I think that does help as well. So,
Definitely. I mean, finally, only half a decade later, finally get the win in the book. Still really happy about that, but looking forward, we're trying to get a lot more.
did you ever think that going through all the time? Did you ever think, am I? I don't know if I'm gonna win or not. Did that thought ever come through your head?
I mean, obviously, you always have that. Go back to my the first time I really threw one away, Road America 2021, where I came up short by about 600ths of a second on the line.
Yeah.
in, in the legacy car, it was a great race. I drove it from 10th, but the win was absolutely there in the books. We didn't come up with it then. We had other races that we led, Mid Ohio, I think 2020. I think it was 2020. That was started off on the outside row. I was leading for about half that race. Ahead of the eventual champion Christian Rasmussen, but came up short to finish fourth there. Came up short to finish fourth, or not fourth, second in St. Pete. came up short to finish second in the first race in Sebring. So it was always like, okay, we've had the pace, we know we're quick. We had some massive qualifying efforts in Sebring, but to finally put the win in the books is definitely a different story. It's one thing to have the pace; it's another to close it out and get the race win.
For sure. Going into Indianapolis and all that and all that stuff. What's a win like this going to do for this team? Because because I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Paps cars are really fast.
No, Augie's put a great program together. Both the Pro 2000 cars and the USF 2000 cars are immensely quick. Both sides of the coin. We've been putting in some big efforts across the board, across the team. Everyone's been doing their job. So it's really nice, and it's really easy. It gets a lot easier when you've got a team working like that and putting that quality of car underneath you.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about, excuse me, talking about like getting, the win like this and all that stuff. This team is, the confidence that you guys have right now. Now that the hardest part is getting that first win, and then they all come. But what's it going to be like heading into these next few races? Because you got 3 races at Indy, and then of course the only oval of the season at IRP.
Well, let's see. All the way to Toronto, I think I'm going to be feeling good. Toronto, I haven't done before. Portland, I haven't done before. But we went to a track, Sebring, and where everyone had been testing a good bit over the winter. We showed up and did my first laps on full course at spring training.
Yeah.
So despite having a bunch of experience in the car, not having as much experience on the track as some of the other drivers out there, we get to flip the coin over and head into a part of the season where we go to places I'm familiar with, that I'm confident at. So we get Indy, IRP, Road America, Mid Ohio, all in a string, and those are by far some of my favorite tracks. Some of the places I'm feeling really good at. So it's about taking it to the next level and seeing what we can extract from those places.
All right. Simon Sikes, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Congrats on the win at Sebring, and hope to see you at Indy.
Thank you so much. Fingers crossed. Trying to get there.